Hey guys, I am so happy to be doing this extra live show because I know a lot of you have never been to one of my live shows before and have wanted to. So I just wanted to welcome everyone here who is new. And some of you have already been shouting out hello and that it's your first time being here. So if you haven't, go ahead and say hey. If you don't know how these work, basically we just spend this time, and usually it's an hour. So if we have enough people, we'll try to totally do an hour right now, and we're just going to talk all about last night's episode and this season and pretty much anything PLL, any kind of theories you want to discuss. It's just really casual, so I think that you will have fun. So I'm going to say hey to Lip Gloss Kisses from South Africa. That is so awesome. Neely, Alice, Ingrid, Debbie, Amanda. There's a lot of you here. Andre, Janae. Hey guys, I'm so glad to see all of you here. That makes me so super happy. So I feel like we got one really good thing out of last night's episode, and that was the fact that we kind of got our confirmation that Redcoat is real. Even though I think we all assumed that Redcoat was a real person, now we see that this person is working with Charles, so we know that they are a real deal, and now we have to try to figure out who Redcoat is, and there are so many theories circulating online. There were so many theories being tweeted out last night during the episode. So I want to know what you guys think. I've been working on my recap of last night's episode. I've been working on that today. That will be live tomorrow, so if you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you are so you don't miss any of the recaps or any of the shows that you can't come to because they're all going to be on my channel. So I've been trying to figure out myself who I think that Redcoat is, but I would love to hear what you guys think. So Jackie says that she thinks that Redcoat is Cece. That was my initial thought, and that's been my thought for a while, although the more I read theories online, the more I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where people are coming from when they mention different people. You have to think that one of two things. Either Charles and this person are really close, so if you think you know who Charles is, then you try to think who is someone who is good friends with whoever you think Charles is, or there have been other people saying that Charles is perhaps being blackmailed by Redcoat, and Redcoat is kind of the one pulling the strings and the one who is in charge, so maybe they're not really friends, but he's kind of forced to work with her, so I don't know. Debbie's asking, when was the last time we saw Redcoat? That's a really good question. We've seen really fast glimpses of her before, but, she got more time in this episode that she ever has before, and I kept hoping that she would turn around and we would know who she was, because I knew we weren't going to find out who Charles was last night, but I was just thinking maybe they'll, throw us something and be like, and Redcoat is so-and-so. That would make me so happy. Do you guys think that Redcoat is going to be unveiled in 2 weeks as well as Charles, or do you think we'll just find out who Charles is? Ingrid thinks Melissa and Ren, and that is something that I've seen a lot online, and would totally make sense because they're supposedly off in England. We know they're really close. We haven't seen either one of them in such a long time. We haven't seen Ren in even a longer time, so I don't know. So Lip Gloss Kisses is saying that she hopes that Redcoat is Arya, but that's probably wishful thinking. I definitely agree with you here. I would love that. I would love for one of the girls to be Redcoat. Tara is here. Hey, welcome, Tara. And Janae is saying the third theory that I have heard, which is Redcoat is Sarah or Bethany, or Sarah who is Bethany. So we didn't see Sarah in last night's episode. A lot of people do think that Sarah is Bethany, and perhaps that person is Redcoat. So Debbie's saying that she will be revealed. So that is totally what I'm hoping, although I do have to wonder, I feel like I tweeted this earlier today, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, if you have a Twitter, I'm Kelly_TV, and those links are down below, so please follow me if you have Twitter, because that's where basically you'll learn everything I'm up to, and when there's a live show, and when I'm on Periscope, because I did that last night. That was so much fun. A lot of you were there. Loved it, so we're going to do that again. But, now I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so what I'm wondering, this is what I tweeted out earlier, is are we really, if we really find out who Charles is and who Redcoat is, how are they going to keep us around for more seasons, the other half of season 6 and season 7? So I know they say that we'll come face to face with Charles, but I'm a little concerned. I feel like there has to be some kind of catch here. What do you guys think? I feel like there will be something else. Because if we learn all of the secrets, no one really, I mean, even though we are diehard PLL fans, so we're definitely, you know, going to tune in regardless, you know, I feel like if they give us everything, then people won't come back. Cutie Pie says, and what's up, Cutie Pie, that Marlene tweeted, we are going to find out who Redcoat Charles and who Black Veil is. Yes, and I think I do actually remember seeing that tweet. I just hope she's telling the truth because a lot of times she doesn't tell the truth. So what's up, Deja, Rebecca, Jen, Molly? There are so many people here. That makes me so, so happy. I'm going to try to go back into the comments here and catch up on everyone's comments. The comments move kind of fast, so if I don't read your comment, just repost it again, and I will definitely get to it. So Cutie Pie thinks that Redcoat is Maya. I also saw that theory online last night and today. I think that would be like really cool because it would kind of be shocking because we still don't know if she's alive, but there's been little hints about her and she's still relevant in some way, and I actually really like that idea, like a lot. Janae thinks that, I think I read this already, but that Sarah is Redcoat. Neely is saying that the dollhouse pictures were really creepy. So Arya went to like this art show. Basically, it was finalists for this contest, people who had taken pictures, as you know, and of course Charles like intercepted whatever she was supposed to be showing, which were those creepy dolls, the actual dolls she had been taking pictures of, and replaced them with the girls being in the morgue. So yes, that was totally creepy. I completely agree with you. Molly can't decide if she's just mad about this new character Reese or not, because he looks just like Jason, but she says she doesn't think we've met him before and hopes he's not Charles. Yeah, I wanted to definitely talk to you about Reese. I think he's a red herring, although he may be involved in some way. I don't think he's Charles. I surely hope he's not. They kind of were being too specific about him last night and trying to say so, you know, like, oh my gosh, he looks just like a De Laurentiis. He looks just like Jason. I feel like they were being so specific. Try to say that really fast. So specific. That is hard. I'm not going to do that again. But anyway, I feel like they were trying to tell us that this was Charles, and I don't think they would tell us if it was really him. So I don't think he's Charles. I don't know what his deal is. We didn't get enough information for me to know what his deal is, but I agree with you, Molly. I don't think we've met him before. I can't tell you if I think he's good or bad right now because we just don't know enough. So Jen is saying that Redcoat finally appears in the episode that Sarah isn't in. Is that a coincidence? That's a really good point. Maybe that's because Sarah's off being Redcoat. You know, she did seem like she really needed to get out of Emily's house and go live with her friend Claire in last week's episode, so maybe that was because she was, you know, confined in Emily's house. And I still think that video that A sent the girls of her kind of, you know, almost being stabbed, but it was fake, it seemed really weird to me. And I felt like she was definitely in on that, plus her weird, like, Tippy the Bird tattoo. Something's definitely up with her, and it's probably not good. Jackie says, didn't Mona say she was scared of Redcoat? Okay, I really don't think that Mona is Redcoat because if you remember when she was in Radley, Redcoat visited her, and she was like, I've done everything that you told me to, okay? So I don't think that Mona is Redcoat. Let's see what else you guys are saying. So we didn't see Redcoat's hair, says Janae, of course. Sarah did get a haircut, but of course where that hood was really big, someone could have had super long hair, could have had it in a ponytail, even had it down and being hidden by that huge hood. So I don't know. Ingrid says that Bethany died possibly because someone is in the grave. I do think there is another dead person. I agree with you, Ingrid. I could totally see that being Bethany. At this point, I'm just not sure yet. Okay, wow. Again, these are kind of jumping through, so I know I'm missing some people's comments, and it's not on purpose, so just repost it, okay? Amanda says that she checked IMDb, and they have trivia on episode 10, but anyone can put those on there. Yeah, they totally do. Anyone can edit IMDb, so we can't really take anything on there for fact, which is true. Molly would love if Redcoat would be Maya, because we haven't seen her since season 2. Right, and she thinks that it would be great if she was working with Melissa and Jenna to look out for the girls and Toby while working for A. Yeah, I like that. I like kind of how you've worked all that together. So it's not really her being an evil person, but she's trying to help the girls. I kind of like that. Seems like a lot of you like Maya being A. Janae thinks that Charles brainwashed Bethany to be Sarah. which is a definite possibility. I definitely think that Bethany and Sarah are connected, and like some of you have said, there's probably one of these people is probably not around anymore. And considering that Claire recognized Sarah, it has to be Bethany, and she's probably the dead one, is what I think. But you never know unless Claire is in on it. It's just really confusing. Molly says she was happy to see Ella telling off Tanner. Me too. But where the heck are the dads protecting their daughters? And the moms haven't really been in this season either. Yeah, and like as I'm kind of making notes about my recap from this week, I said, you know, the fact that Ella went off on Tanner was just so long overdue. Like the parents kind of just seem to be like chill, and they're like, they don't really say anything about the crazy stuff that's happened to their daughters. And I'm glad someone actually did, but it freaking took long enough, didn't it? I mean, crazy. So Alice, hey Alice, says that there's a list on PLL's Facebook page actually saying what will be revealed in the final episode. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, she says there is nothing about Charles and A on there. It only mentions Redcoat, Black Widow, etc. So was that put on there by the official Pretty Little Liars people? Because, I mean, they're promoting that we will come face-to-face with Charles. Marlene is tweeting that. I mean, I feel like if we get let down again, people are going to be so mad. Joshua, how are you doing? Asking why it's being canceled. I don't really think so much as the show is being canceled. It's just kind of run its course. And we'll have another half of a season and then another season. I don't really think that it's because it's not doing well, because obviously it's super popular. I just think like they can't really do much more with it. The girls are way older than high school age now. It's kind of getting ridiculous, really. I mean, they're, you know, I don't even know how old they are. In their late 20s, some of the people are in their 30s. So, okay. Tara says, if the baby rattle was Allie's, then maybe it could have been Charles's first, then passed down to Allie. Yes, I think definitely that the baby rattle is of significance, and they made such a big deal about that, and I'm not really sure why. And I would be interested to hear your guys' theories about why you think that is important. And that is an interesting point, Tara, that perhaps it was Charles's rattle, and he held on to it because it was his initially, and then it was given to Allie. So Jackie says that Ezra totally friend-zoned Arya outside of the gallery. I felt really bad for her. I've always liked Arya and Ezra together, even though I've had a lot of trouble trusting him throughout the years. They're not still together, and he said they broke up. But I always kind of hope, and I feel like, unless they both end up being like totally evil, and maybe still if they're totally evil, I feel like they're going to get back together before the show completely ends. Even though he tried to say he wasn't on a date with Nicole, who is a new character, it really seemed to me that she felt that way, and maybe he was just trying to be nice to Arya. It was really awkward. It seemed like something was definitely going on with him and Nicole, and I felt totally awful for Arya. Janae's saying that Ezra did act super shady in this episode. Absolutely. When Clark was talking to Arya, I think in the brew, he was being weird himself. I think Clark is another major red herring that we need to talk about. But he was asking a ton of questions about Charles, you know, and Ezra was totally eavesdropping, and she called him out on it, but he said it's because he wanted to protect her, but you just never know. I mean, I feel like they're trying so hard in this show to make Clark look like an evil person, especially when he was, like, going into the abandoned doll parts factory after Reese. It made him look so shady. It was so ridiculous and over the top that he's probably not shady, or he's being blackmailed or something. So Molly says that she thinks Tanner may play a bigger role in this than we think. The hidden message that she understood has to mean more than the fact that she can speak Spanish. I totally agree with you. So the kind of like the title of Arya's pictures in this contest had something to do with people not being pretty, but it talked about Linda, which is the Spanish word for pretty, and Linda also happens to be Tanner's first name, so she took that kind of as a personal threat to her. She has just been so shady through the entire show and weird, and I would not be surprised if maybe she has a connection to Charles or this whole mess or something, because it just totally seems very strange. I completely agree with you, Molly, and that's a really good point. So Janae is saying, do Hannah and Spencer really think that Charles would be undisguised and go by Reese? No wonder they haven't found out who Charles is. Yeah, that is quite ridiculous. You know, Reese may be someone's relative. I have no idea. He may actually be related to the De Laurentises. I don't know. He probably has some sort of important part in this, possibly, but I really think they're trying so hard this half of the season to throw out a bunch of new characters and make us think that they're all, you know, evil people or Charles. And I thought it was cool when Allie was in the evidence room when we saw Andrew's picture and it had a big X through it, so we know he's no longer a suspect. So we can knock one person off our list, even though he's not really a new character, but still. So Molly says she likes the idea that Clark could be Tanner's son. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I mean, he does ask a lot of questions like he's kind of a detective. So I think that is really cool. And I guess Jen had this idea, and I probably somehow missed the message because they start flying by sometimes, so I'm sorry, but that's really, really cool. Rebecca says Tanner is so shady. She has a bigger part in this completely. I think Jen said Hannah has been so funny. She definitely has. Kat is asking me if she thought we were on at 6. We are. We are also, I'm going to do a show at 6 as well. The reason I'm doing this show at 4, a lot of people overseas, since I'm in America, a lot of people overseas were not ever able to watch my show because it was on too late or too early for them, so I decided to do 2 shows. I'm going to do 2 shows the next 2 weeks as well. So I wanted to try out this 4 p.m. time slot, and it seems like that is a great time for you guys because a lot of new people are here, so that was really, really cool. But you don't have to stick around, or you can, because obviously the next chat at 6 will be different because different people will be here, so we'll probably be covering different topics, but you can totally come back at 6 and hang out for this one as well. That's awesome. I would love it. Okay, Deja says that Allison was completely stupid taking Lorenzo's card and getting him in trouble with Tanner. Totally agree with you. That's what I say, or I'm going to say in my recap video. I think Lorenzo is a good guy, and I think they really had something, or they could have had something there. I think she has, like, really destroyed any chances of a relationship with him because she's completely broken his trust very early on, and now he thinks that she really never liked him, but she was kind of just using him, trying to get close to him so she could find out more information about the case against Charles. So, Deja, I completely agree with you, and all the way around that was stupid because she didn't really find out anything of value. When she got to the police station, she was caught by Tanner. When she got back to Lorenzo's, she was caught by him. It was bad. But Deja says she really liked Hannah telling Allison off. I really like that. Like Jen was saying, Hannah has been so funny, so witty. This is one of the better seasons, I think, for Hannah because she's really showing, like, her sassy personality, and I totally, totally like it. Okay, so Alice is saying, so now all blonde and blue-eyed people are part of the De Laurentiis family. The liars seem to be kind of desperate in their search for Charles. And this is something that, in a way, I've discussed before, Alice, and everyone else who's listening. I feel sometimes that they make the girls so stupid that, like, anyone with half a brain would try and know more and would be able to be better at investigating than these girls are. And I feel like, I'm sorry, there's like a hair stuck in my face. Or my mouth. I feel like that's kind of an insult to the girls and their characters, because I know they're probably supposed to be smart characters, and it makes me kind of feel bad for them that they make them be so stupid sometimes, completely. Cutie Pie says she can't believe that Allie will find out who A is in the next episode. That's completely what it looked like based on the promo from last night. So I am excited, but at the same time, I know that we're not going to find out, so we'll just have to be patient and wait a couple weeks, but I don't know. So Amanda says, asking all these different questions that I can't answer because none of us have the answer. Who's Redcoat? Who killed Bethany? Who's Black Widow? Why has A been targeting the PLLs all this time? I'm hoping that those questions get answered in 2 weeks. That would be wonderful. Debbie's asking how long the finale will be. I don't know. Does anyone know for sure how long it's supposed to be? Julia says, and hi, Julia, cannot wait to find out why Charles hates the girls so much because right now it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And some of the theories that I've read online says, you know, that possibly he's being blackmailed, and that is why it doesn't make sense. Maybe he doesn't want to do this. I mean, it seemed when he wanted to meet up with his brother, with Jason, like it totally seemed like he wanted to be with his family and he wanted to try to get close to them and have this relationship with them that he never had. So I don't know why, you know, he wants to hurt them, like why he's hurt the girls. I don't understand it, but maybe there is some huge reason that we'll be able to understand later on. Okay, everything that the board said reminded me of Hannah. I think, Tamara, you're talking about possibly the evidence room because I've missed some of these comments, so fill me in on that. Yes, the profile board on Charles. Here's Emma talking about that. said that he had superficial charm, which makes me think of Rin. Definitely someone who is a charmer but kind of a con artist. I can totally see Rin being that way. He's kind of smooth and charming, but like probably when you get down deeper, he's not very nice. Like that is definitely, I can definitely see Rin being like that. So at this point, to be completely honest, I truly do think that Rin will end up being Charles because he just fits in so many ways. Unless, of course, they go with a new person who we don't know. I never know what they're going to do. And they may tell us a million times that we've seen, you know, sometimes people will be like, well, no, they said we saw A in the very first episode of the entire series. But then apparently she's retracted that, Marlene, and said that she meant Mona because Mona was the first A. So I don't know. I just think that everyone's going to be very upset if A ends up being someone we've never seen before. Some random person. That's kind of what I think. Okay, so yes, Lip Gloss Kisses is saying it would be so cool if we had 2 hours for the finale. But she heard it will be an hour and a half, which I think that would be awesome. Because if they really do tell us who A is, we've been waiting on this for I don't even know how many years now. So to find that out is going to be huge. And I feel like we need more time and more stuff in the episode. You know, an episode like that, I feel like it needs to be longer than the normal hour. Janae's asking if Charles is going to drug the girls. He had syringes. Yes, so at the very end, our little A clip was actually with Redcoat this time, but he had syringes and he put them in the back of the limo, and you see that they're preparing to go to prom because Redcoat got the tickets. A lot of people were telling me they felt like Redcoat was someone who was actually a Rosewood student currently because she was able to purchase the tickets, which is really interesting because that would mean it could not be Cece, could not be Maya, could not be a lot of people. So that kind of gives me hope that it could be one of the girls, but maybe that has nothing to do with it. I don't know. Maybe just the fact that she got tickets, she could have gotten them even though she wasn't a student, or she could have had someone else get them. You like never know. So Samuel says it was good that, and glad to see you here, it was good that they brought Redcoat back. If Redcoat was shown, could it mean that Black Widow and Redcoat aren't the same person? Sort of. But I guess there's also a Black Veil. And he's saying maybe Black Widow is a good character or just the next A. Yeah, that's confusing to me. Can you guys clear that up? Do you think that there's a Black Veil, a Black Widow, a Redcoat, and an A? We know there's an A and a Redcoat now, and a Black Veil, I think. But there's also a Black Widow. So confusing. Yeah, Lip Gloss Kisses is saying the problem is that the episodes aren't an hour. Exactly, because of the commercials. They're only 40 minutes. So even if they said they were going to do an hour and a half, it probably actually wouldn't be that long because of the commercials. But I would be happy that we had extra time. I mean, wouldn't you guys? Emma's asking if Jenna still goes to school. I'm assuming not unless she like transferred schools. I really have no clue what is going on with her, and I've gotten some tweets in the past couple of days from some of you, and you've been like, where is Jenna? And I think that's a really valid question, and I can't answer that. Like, I have no idea why she hasn't been seen. I always kind of thought she would end up being one of these people, Redcoat or Black Veil or Black Widow or whatever. I don't think we can count her out. I don't think we can just think we're never going to see her again or that she wasn't important at all, you know? Janae can't believe that Emily would choose Sarah over Arya. I really think Arya was offering to like dance with Emily at prom as a friend thing. I don't think she's exactly into Arya, but you know, Emily thinks that Sarah's going to be her girlfriend because she totally hooks up with like every new character, so you know. Jackie thinks that Black Widow is Melissa because she's a widow in the show. Ha, that's very good. Love it, because we know that Ian is dead. I really like that, actually. Very good thought. Tamari says that the board in the evidence room also caught her attention because of Andrew. We know A is a genius, so what if Andrew planned being arrested and then released? I like it. I really do. Okay. That's another thing, and a lot of shows will do this. They do not want you to figure out, obviously, who the bad guy is. So when I'm telling you that they're telling us that someone is the bad guy, that's absolutely out of the question. Reese is not A because they told us pretty much that he looks just like Jason. He looks just like a De Laurentiis. No. But they're telling us in this episode that Andrew is obviously not A. I mean, they have, you know, that picture was so important, I guess, for us to see now that I think about it because he had this big X through his face. Maybe that's because he's completely involved. I like your thinking there completely, but I do not like him being Charles. I will be very upset if he is Charles. He is someone that we just kind of met recently, rather recently. That's really going to make me angry. That makes me nervous, though, because I can see them going there, because who did that kid look like in that video from that birthday party? It looked like Andrew. It didn't look like Ren. And it doesn't mean that someone can't dye their hair and start speaking with a different accent, but it looked like Andrew. Wow. Okay. Lip Gloss Kisses says that Marlene, I think you're answering something that Alice said that I completely missed. So Julia says that Black Widow and Black Veil are the same person. Marlene named her Black Widow. Thank you for clearing that up, Julia. So now we just have to worry about who is Black Widow, who is Redcoat, who is A. Tara thought that Jenna died. No, Jenna did not die. She's kind of dead on the show to us. Not literally, but just because we haven't seen her in like forever. Ingrid's asking why was Tanner listening to the girls' conversations. She's just super weird, and like a lot of you said here today, there's something up with her. I don't know. Debbie says she doesn't think she was. It was just from the way the show was edited. Regardless, she's weird. She acts weird all the time. She was acting so weird with Arya in yesterday's episode because she was going over those pictures she'd taken and making like weird comments. I don't know. She-Hulk is asking, can I understand why Allie feels bad for Charles after all? Because she can't. Yes, I actually can. Not because I can relate to it, but just because he's a part of her family and she doesn't really remember him. She has very limited memory of him, but he's still a part of her, you know, like they share some DNA. And I think that she has a little bit of sympathy for him, just like Jason does, because she doesn't want him to be killed, you know, because he is her brother. And I think that if any one of you have a family member who doesn't do things that everyone agrees with, I'm not saying like murdering people, you still kind of love them, even though, you know, they've made mistakes or whatever. So I can get that. Natty, yes, we're having a 4 o'clock show, and we're also having the 6 o'clock show. Again, I'm doing this show for the people who couldn't make it before because they live in a place where my show's on super late or super early for them. So you're free to stick around, Natty, or you can come back at 6, or you can do both. I would love to see you there and now and whatever, so that would be awesome. Tara says she felt so bad for the girls when the morgue pictures were shown, and the flashbacks for each girl was shown really quick, and it was horrible. Yeah, that was really awful, completely. I still don't think we fully know what they went through in that dollhouse, but I'm sure it was some really terrible stuff. Andre thinks that Melissa is Black Widow as well, because she was the only widow in the series. I think you guys are definitely onto something. Maybe she is working with Charles because she's sorry for burying Bethany alive. Okay, I believe that was kind of in the Reddit spoiler, so we don't know for sure that it's Bethany in that grave or that Melissa buried her alive. That was what the Reddit person was telling us, which I kind of think the Reddit person was not telling the truth, considering they said that Spencer was supposed to get into Oxford like 3 episodes ago, and that still hasn't happened. But maybe some of the stuff that person said will end up being true. I don't know. Alice wishes they would stop bringing new characters into the plot because where are the original cast members? She feels like all these new people are just a distraction. It really annoys me. I feel like pretty much every episode this season we've met new people. I'm exhausted by it. All of them can't be super important. Why are we bringing them in so late in the progression of this show? I don't get it. And it is annoying also, Alice, that the fact that they don't show some of the main characters that we got to know. We never see Paige. We never see Mona, or not Mona. We never see Paige. We never see Jenna. We never see Melissa. We never see Ren. There's probably more people. It's crazy. Ingrid saying that the promo for next week's episode looks awesome. I thought it did look really good. Glanisha, hope I'm saying your name right, does not think that Black Widow is Melissa. So who do you think Black Widow is? Because I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Natty is going to be here for both. That is awesome. Thank you for sticking around. Jackie really liked Ella. She hopes the parents are doing something now. That was cool. I talked about that a little bit earlier, but it was nice to see her stand up to Tanner and stand up for her daughter. And I feel like the other parents should like pay attention and do the same thing, because so much craziness has been going on, and the parents have kind of just sat there and been like, you know, like so. They just don't care enough, I don't feel like. Molly says that Marlene tweeted that as the end is near, that A is going to get more ballsy. I actually saw that tweet. So if that's true, then she can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes. I'm with you, Molly. I hope some craziness goes down. I think those syringes were kind of an indication that some insane stuff might happen, so I think that will be fun. Andrell, I hope I'm saying your name right, says that my aunt and I deeply believe that Sarah is Redcoat, and that is the reason why she left, excuse me, that she left Emily's house so she can meet up with A. Yeah, I do think that. I kind of talked about that also a little bit earlier, but she seemed to really need to get out of Emily's house. And she may have even contacted Claire herself and been, you know, organized the whole thing. I thought it was weird that Claire all of a sudden really liked Sarah after she had major issues with her before. So she seemed like she was in such a hurry to get out. I always think it's strange, or I've always thought it was strange, that Sarah didn't have the like tracking device and everyone else did. I think that's really weird. So I think, Andrell, that you could definitely be on the right track here. Natty doesn't believe the spoilers because she thought Redcoat was very slim and feminine. She did. She looked very small yesterday. She reminded me of how, Natty says she reminded her of how Hannah walked when she wore the red coat in season 3. Yes, I mean, Cece's pretty small. So Jenna's pretty small. I could see either one of those being Redcoat. Samuel's asking if Redcoat could be Jenna. In season 3, Jenna drove Emily before Emily was found next to Allison's empty grave. I totally remember that. It could be why Redcoat was able to get the prom tickets. Yeah, that was so weird. I think Emily was kind of drugged or something, so she only kind of remembered parts of that. But that was really, really weird, Samuel. I agree with you. Tara's asking if, hold on, it's disappearing. What if Toby's mom was Black Widow and that she wasn't really dead, but they saw the body and thought it was her, but Wilden was a cover-up? I definitely have always thought that Toby's mom, Marion, has like some huge connection to all of this. So that's an interesting thought, and I don't think a lot of people have come up with her being Black Widow, but I could kind of see that. So I think that's super interesting. I like that a lot. Let me try to scroll up here. There we go. Okay, so yeah, Tara, I do think it's realistic. I actually really, really like it. You guys are saying that no one could be trusted completely. So Andrell says that Cece has hips, so the red coat from last night did not have as much. I will say, though, they have said before, like the writers of this show, that whenever they would show A, like in all of the little A scenes that we've seen throughout the years, they would use different people from behind the scenes, people who were never part of the cast, random people, because they didn't want us to figure out by body type who A was. So possibly the person who was wearing the red coat last night was a random person, and it might not mean that that person's really, really small. I don't know if they're doing that with red coat as well, but they definitely did it with A. They've admitted it to using all kinds of different people dressed in the black hoodie. So I don't know. So She-Hulk is asking if I think the parents have secrets as well. Yes, completely. Especially like, who was it? Spencer's dad? Or was it Spencer's dad who didn't want them to go through that box of stuff? Or was it, I think it was Spencer's dad. There was something really shady there like a couple of episodes ago. She-Hulk has the feeling that Ella is telling Ashley something important and Redcoat is watching. Very good. So there was a scene near the end of last night's episode where like Ella came to talk to Hannah's mom, and she kind of acted like she wanted to talk about one thing, but it was obvious she was there for something else, and then she changed it to like being worried about the girls and the fact that she had to go off on Tanner and all of that. But maybe there was something else, because I think we all kind of knew what she was saying, so it wasn't like groundbreaking. So I think, yeah, I think that's a really, really, really good point. And she's saying that Ella seems more angry and afraid after hearing about Charles, and I think it's really important the fact that Redcoat was outside the window watching, because why would she care? Like, really, why does she care about that conversation? Why does she care that they're worried about Charles and stuff like that? Because I think we already know that, so I think that's really good. So Andre says that he doesn't think they're still using random people. I hope not. So I hope that this person who we saw who's super petite is actually the person who will be unveiled as Redcoat, which means kind of looks like a Jenna body type. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Well, Debbie is saying that there are 3 redcoats. Really? Oh my gosh. I hope not. That is so confusing. Please. Natty's saying that Jenna went to the eye doctor in season 5 with Sydney. Oh my gosh, Sydney. I forgot about her when we were talking about people we haven't seen in forever. I completely forgot about her. Yes. And maybe she got her eyesight back so she can resume her role as Redcoat. Natty thinks that Sydney is the Black Widow. I completely forgot about that. Yes. So, oh my gosh, it's just so, like, guys, it is so hard. And are there really 3 red coats? Please, where are we hearing this? I mean, that's crazy to me. Crazy. Anissa says it's rumored that Allison will die before the show ends. How do I feel about that? Well, you know, if you are like me, you've thought lots of different things about Allison as the show has been on. For most of the show, I didn't like her at all. I thought she was like, I mean, we didn't ever see her really. We never saw her like in real life. We just saw her in flashbacks. And I thought she was like manipulative and rude and just a terrible friend and out for herself. But now I don't think of her that way. I don't know if the show is trying to make her seem nice and everything, and she's not, but I feel bad for her and I like her, and I think she's really relatable, and I just really like her. So I don't want her to die. Not at all. Like, that would really bother me. It would really bother me. Okay, Toby might have a relationship with another girl after the time jump, according to Anissa. I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess it could totally happen. I could see that. Yeah, Emma's still saying that there are 3 red coats, Allie, Cece, and a bad red coat who burned off Hannah's doll face with a blowtorch. I don't know. Where is that coming from? Oh, okay. So Natty's saying that the 3 red coats, Allison and Cece, decoys, and then the one who was working alongside Charles. Yeah, because we've seen, does Allison dress in the red coat when she was Vivian Darkbloom? I don't know. Ingrid said that Allie died once. She doesn't need to die again. I agree with you. Janae says Clark is fishy. He lied for the first time to Arya. Yeah, he is. I just really think they're using him to make him seem like he's Charles. Well, I think we know he's not Charles. Hello. But to seem like he's working for Charles. Perhaps he is working for Charles. I don't know. He's strange. I really like the person who said it might be Tanner's son or something. Kind of like that. Jackie says that Tanner will confuse Reese with Jason and he will be interrogated in the next episode. Oh, I love that. So she was watching that surveillance video from the art gallery, and to us, it looked like Reese was in there, but she doesn't know Reese. So that is such a great point, Jackie. So she's going to see the back of this person with the pretty blonde hair, and she's going to be like, oh my gosh, that's Jason, and bring him in. I really like that. Anissa says there's been talk about a PLL Season A from A's point of view. I know a lot of fans want that. I don't know if that's really in production or anything, but I think that would be so cool. I think it would be cool if they went back and showed us everything kind of that's happened that A has done, but yet we see him doing it and we understand like his motivation and we get to see how he did everything. Like, I do think that would be so, so cool. Jenny's asking what was up with Arya and her sketchy prom dress. I don't know. She spent a lot of time talking to Emily in that scene about that prom dress. Kind of seemed like a bunch of nothing to me, but maybe there's something up with that. I do feel bad for her because she asked Ezra to prom, and then right at that time, like, Nicole came in, and she was like, oh my gosh, because she felt like they were on a date, and I just felt really bad for her. I can't help but feel bad for her. Even though a lot of you don't like Ezra, I still kind of do. Lena is here. Just to let you know, Lena, if you usually come to the 6 p.m. show, we're still having that, but we're having a 4 p.m. show today as well. We're going to be having both shows the next 2 weeks. And if you guys are on Twitter, once again, please follow me on Twitter because I know this was kind of a shock for some of you to see this show at 4 o'clock. On Twitter, I've tweeted it a lot. So if you do have a Twitter, if you don't, I totally understand. It's not for everyone. But if you do, I'm Kelly_TV. If you want to follow me, that way you know when the shows are, when I'm Periscoping. If you were at my Periscope last night, it was so much fun. I'm going to Periscope after next week's episode and the finale. Directly after, I am on the East Coast, but we will talk a little bit later about the finale and what we can do with Periscope. I am willing to do several different Periscopes because I know those of you on the West Coast and Central Time and stuff won't be able to join me for my Periscope after the East Coast because it will be tons of spoilers, but I want to discuss the finale with you since it's huge. I want to be able to discuss it with you guys. So we may do 3 or 4 Periscopes because they're like really fast, or like 15 minutes. So anyway, just want to throw that out there. So, oh, Rebecca says that maybe it's a red coat, not a prom dress that like Arya is having made. Very interesting. Molly says she can't believe that she can love and hate this show so much at the same time. I totally feel you. My last couple of recap videos, I've kind of been a little bit negative, and some of you were like shocked, but you know, this episode wasn't to me as bad as the last 2. We at least got some red coat information. I do expect a lot of stuff from the next 2 episodes, especially the finale. If the finale isn't phenomenal, I'm going to be really critical in my video for that, because they really played it up to us. They've let us down before. They've told us one thing and lied about it and whatever before, and they've given us fake A's, and now's the time to stop all of that. So if it's another one of those, this is A, but this is a fake A, I'm going to be really, really mad. It's just an FYI. Anissa says that Mrs. D gave the second yellow dress to Charles so he could dress as a doll, as Allison, to celebrate Christmas. I don't know, Anissa, you must have some insight that we don't. I don't know if you're on a spoiler site or what, but maybe these are your theories, which is totally fine. But kind of let us know what's going on. Are those kind of your theories, or you're reading them somewhere? But that's interesting. I completely like it. Hot Cocoa, hey, thanks for joining us. Says that Redcoat must be someone Charles has known for a long time. I agree, because he trusts her so much. I can't help but think that it's Bethany. They must have had an alliance if they escaped together, and maybe they faked both of their deaths. Yes, because perhaps they made this bond. And Radley, agree. Zoe thinks she's late. It's okay, because we have a 6 o'clock show, so you can stick around for this and come back at 6. We're just doing 2 shows today. Natty says she paused when Allison was in the police station. Yes, I think there's so much stuff in that evidence room. There's so much stuff written everywhere. And Marlene once said that every single thing that's in every single scene is planned, because they know that so many of the fans are going to pause it on their DVR or pause it when they're watching, like, on their tablet, which is what I always do, to read all this stuff in the background. So definitely do that if you have this show recorded somewhere. But anyway, so Natty paused it, and they had a list of deaths that they think are related to Charles. She read Ian, Maya, Jessica, and she thinks Garrett was on there too. And Tamari says Garrett was on there, and Wilden. Okay, I think that, yes, completely. I can totally see that those would be related. It will be interesting to see if they actually were. But yes, like it. So, Emma says that Cece put herself and Radley as a joke. Maybe she met Charles there, and that's where they became partners. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys that they have some sort of interesting bond, not Cece, but Charles and Redcoat. So it should be interesting to find out who it is. Okay, so Glanisha says that the finale will be, she thinks the finale will be Mona showing the girls' videos that will put it all together based on the 610 promo pics. That would be so cool. I would really like that. Andrea says knowing Marlene will always be something in the episode. Knowing that there will always be something in the episode that breaks our hearts, our pretty little hearts. Yep. Always little clues and stuff in the background. I think that's kind of cool. Anissa says she read the Yellow Dress theory somewhere. Yeah, that's completely fine. I was like, girl, you've got some crazy good theories. I mean, I wanted to give you credit for it if they were yours. And if not, you know, that's fine too, because it's interesting. But I like that. Tony was bored. Yeah, you were bored during last night's episode. I feel like there's been so many filler episodes this season. It bothers me. Not gonna lie. I'm trying not to make my recap video that's gonna go up tomorrow. I haven't recorded it yet. I've just been working on it, but I don't want to make it super negative, because I feel like the last 2 videos I did, I just kind of ranted a lot, and I don't want every video to be like a rant, because I do love the show, don't get me wrong. I totally do. But I'm tired of the, like, wasted time. I'm tired of the new characters that they never really explain, and a lot of the times they just go away, and then we don't see them again, we don't understand. So that's where I'm coming from. And it was kind of boring. But the only thing, like, I got really excited about was when we first saw Redcoat in Charles's lair. I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's so exciting. And then we got to see her again a couple times. But other than that, not really that exciting. Tony wants the girls to investigate Clark. Completely need to do that. Tamari thinks that Charles killed Bethany. Molly wishes the girls weren't so stupid. Spencer and Hannah are so smart. I know. You would think they wouldn't fall for the A-traps. I know. I wish they wouldn't make them so stupid. A lot of times I'm like yelling at my TV. I'm like, no. Okay, you know what really bugged me last night? We had already seen Redcoat and Charles hanging out together, blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on. And then if you're watching, like, ABC Family, I was watching that live, and they scrolled this thing across the screen, and it was like, do you think that Charles and Redcoat are 2 different people? And I tweeted this last night, and I was like, do I really? I don't know. Did I just see 2 people in a room together? Are you serious? Neely says that Hannah is so down with Charles being the puppet master. So glad someone is. She seemed to be the only person with any sense in last night's episode. So yes, I like that. Angel's asking if Sarah and Bethany could be the twins, because if you listen to their voices, it's the same. I think people have definitely thought that before. So I don't know. I want to know who the twins are. Do you think we'll find out who the twins are in the finale, or do you think we'll have to wait? I kind of think we'll have to wait, but you never know. Ingrid says Allie once said she was surprised that Spencer hasn't figured it out yet. That was when Spencer was seeing Ren. Yeah, I'm surprised too. I remember when she said that. I wish someone would figure it out. I guess someone, or we're finally going to figure it out like in 2 weeks. I freaking hope so. That's all I have to say. Alec thinks the episodes 6-6 and 6-8 have been more on clues rather than actions. Okay, I agree with you. They keep saying to pay attention to detail the closer we get to the finale. Well, that's good. And I mean, I think it's good that you pointed that out, Alec. And I think I've watched the episode twice so far, but I always buy it on iTunes. So I think I'm going to go back, and I'm going to, something I haven't gotten to do yet is to pause the evidence room. I really want to look around there and check everything out, and probably need to rewatch it again. I know a lot of you guys watch it several times, and I think that's important that Alec brought that up. I think we need to rewatch and, you know, figure out what we're missing, because there probably are a little bitty clues that we're overlooking. I really think so. Lee and G, hey, thanks for joining. Remember in season 4, the finale, Allie was getting help from Noel. Why do I think she trusts him so much? Just haven't seen him in a while, and this question has been stuck in my head. Where is he? Very good point. He's another one of our characters who was really active and totally disappeared. Why does she trust him? I don't know. And that was kind of back at the time that I thought Allie was like not to be trusted, but I think that's a really good point. If anyone has an idea, totally comment, because I don't know. I don't know. I mean, oh my gosh, guys, we haven't seen him in so long. I really don't even know what to say. But I think that's a good point that you bring up, and I just don't have an answer, as I don't have an answer for a lot of the craziness that happens in this show. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I love, like, mystery shows, mystery movies. I love trying to figure out who did it, who's the killer, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like I've watched a lot of these different shows, and like PLL is kind of the hardest one to figure out ever, because there's so many people that it could be that it just makes it so mind-boggling, like trying to figure out who is this person or who are these people. Do you guys feel that way? I feel like it is so difficult. Molly is asking, where is Caleb? Well, at least we've seen him recently, so he'll probably resurface in the next week or the next week. Alec says, what's interesting is that Marlene said to watch for detail, and then Detective Tanner said Arya has an eye for detail. I really think, when I was rewatching it, very good point again, Alec, I really think there's something going on, as I've said a million times, with Arya and the creepy dolls and the pictures. They talked about it in every single episode this season. They made such a point of that last night with Tanner looking over those photos. Something is going on. Let me tell you, I'm so hoping it's because Arya has some sort of mental thing that she doesn't even realize, and she's actually doing things for the A-team. Would love it. Could it be, I guess this isn't possible that Arya is Redcoat, right? I can't remember. I mean, could she have been in the scenes, you know, like, we didn't see, like, Arya here and then Redcoat over there, right? Like, she could still be Redcoat, right? Because I feel like I would love that. And Arya's really small, so I would just love that. Emma would love to see Lucas at prom. I would love to see Lucas somewhere. We haven't seen him forever either. Oh, my gosh. Tamari says Allie used to tell Arya all of the other girls' secrets, so she thinks Arya has a lot to do with this. I really hope, Tamari. I will scream. Like, if I watch this finale and Arya if Redcoat turns around and it's Arya, I'm going to, like, do a happy dance. Like, I need to, like, record my reaction to this finale, because if bad stuff happens, I'm going to be so upset, and I'll be, like, freaking out, and if good stuff happens, I'll freak out in, like, a good way. So I should probably totally record myself watching. Rebecca says that Allie was so nosy. She knew everything about everyone. It's hard to believe she didn't know about Charles because she knew Bethany. Yeah, I know. She says she has limited memories, but who knows? Tamari's saying Arya could be Redcoat. Remember when Arya was sick and she saw Allie before we knew Allie was alive? Yes. And Allie told her something like, why do you think I chose you? Ooh, I remember that. I'm so excited. I'm so hoping for that. Samuel says when Mona was in Radley, it looked like she thought Redcoat was Allison. in season 3, it looked like she was controlling the A-team. It would be interesting to see her ranking in the A-team next to Charles. What if Redcoat is the real threat to the liars and Charles is working with her or believes he is in control, but it's Redcoat? If the liars don't know she's still active, could she take the game from Charles? That's really interesting, Samuel, and to be completely honest, and this is something we've talked about before if you watch my shows, when Mona was in the dollhouse, I thought everything was super weird, and I feel completely, like 90% sure that she's working with Charles or was working with Charles. It just didn't seem right, and maybe she's working with him and he's not as bad as we think, and someone else is. Either an Uber A, or Redcoat, or Black Widow. Someone else is like the big, 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 big evil person, which could be interesting. I don't know. I can't wait to find out, honestly. Gosh, so many comments. Thank you so much, guys. Natty says she's wondering where was Mona last night, where was Caleb, where was Sarah, where was Toby. She thinks that Jenna and Sydney could be twins. They really did try to make us think that when they went to the eye doctor because, guys, they totally looked alike, if you remember that. I am not watching Scream TV, Natty, and I probably should be. Scream is on MTV. I should be because I love the movie so much, and I was actually at the premiere of the last Scream, and I'm just such a fan. But I've been really busy, and I'm a little bit less busy now, thankfully, but I kind of never started it, but I should totally start it, so thank you for reminding me. Alice also thinks Redcoat is Arya. Oh my gosh, like, I would be so happy. So happy. Molly says Marlene tweeted that the answers are right around the corner, and Ashley Marin told Hannah that Kenneth's office was right around the corner. Very interesting. Good point there, Molly. Janae said that she thinks Charles told Reese to stay outside of the art gallery so the girls would follow him. Another A trap. Yeah, I think that the whole Reese and Clark hanging outside or doing stuff in that doll warehouse, I don't think it's that important. I really don't. Who do I want Black Veil to be? Asked Cutie Pie. I guess Black Veil is going to be Black Widow. So to me, it makes sense the Black Widow would be Melissa. As you guys have said, she is the only widow. I kind of feel like it's her, but you just never know. What is the thing with Clark actually? Asked Neely. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I couldn't tell you. Little Sari doesn't think that Claire-Sarah friendship proves that Sarah is who she says she is. The A-team can get dirt on anyone. I'm starting to really believe that. Very good. So she could easily blackmail Claire into coaching Sarah on what to say. Yes. And what I think is so weird is when the girls first met up with Claire and those other friends of Sarah's, they didn't really like Sarah. And then all of a sudden Claire wants her to go live with her and she loves her and she's changed her opinion. Something is just not right there. Just not right. Cutie Pie is asking me if I could do live chats and theories for Scream Queens. I think that starts in September on Fox, or is it FX? Yes. People have asked me before. I'm really excited. I love Leah Michelle. I love Emma Roberts. So I'm definitely planning on doing that. So hopefully a lot of you guys will tune into that because we've got to do something with our downtime because PLL does not come back until January, and I still want to talk to you guys, so yes, let's watch Scream Queens together, and we'll do live chats and videos and all that good stuff. Raphael doesn't think Allison knew Bethany. I don't really think she does either. He thinks that the things, Rafaela, she thinks that the things were planted in the house. I think you're right. I really don't think they knew each other. Angela's asking if Clark is being set up, and either having a relationship with Reese, or maybe they told Clark he could win the photo contest by coming there and talking to Reese. I like that. Yes, I think he's being set up completely. He may be gay. You're right. I never thought about that. Completely interesting. Jen's asking if anyone on the show is actually dead. Ha, that's a great question. Probably not. I feel like Mrs. D is dead, but maybe not. Ingrid's asking me to record the reveal of Charles. That would be so funny. I really think I might do that. Completely. Let me get a drink here because I'm like dying of thirst. Glenisha is saying she would hate for them to make a Shady character, Melissa, a lead Shady character like Black Widow. I see your point. Sorry, I had to have a little water break there. Molly says that hoping that Toby and Lorenzo don't get fired. Good point. We did not figure out what happened with like the weed issue, the weed gummies. We don't know if Toby still works for the police, but I know Spencer said that he texted her, so she felt like things were okay in last night's episode, so I hope not. And I mean, Lorenzo, it wasn't his fault either. I mean, Allie, that was just so bad of her to steal. She said she would have done it anyway, but I don't know. Cutie's asking if I'm going to do live chats for the summer finale. Absolutely. I'm going to do 2 of them at 4 and 6. If we need to do more, we may need to, because if we learn like a lot of stuff, we may need to do more. But we'll talk about that maybe next week. We'll try to figure that out. Okay? Lee and G want the fiery Allie from season 1 through 3 back, but doubt the writers will make her that way again. Yeah, I mean, she kind of totally had a personality change because she was like snippy and bossy and kind of rude, and a lot of people didn't like her, and now she's kind of like sad and she's kind of like a victim. Ingrid says the spoilers were saying that Clark was gay, so maybe he is. That would be interesting. I'm not sure. Oh, Angela's saying the promo makes it seem like Toby and Lorenzo get suspended. I don't like that. That makes me sad. Andrell's asking if I think Maya is alive. I think it's a really good possibility, but I thought she would reappear in this season. She still could. Maybe she'll be in the finale. I don't know. That's a good question. Natty says, I think Allie does know about Bethany because in the episode 513, Allison asked if the yellow dress was for Bethany. How else would she know that Bethany was connected to her family? The girls didn't tell her. Okay, that's a good point. I actually do not remember much about if Allie knows Bethany or what that connection is there, but I think that is a really good point there, Natty. Tamari says Allie was brave to tell the truth to Lorenzo's face instead of threatening him or lying like she would have before. Yeah, I think that's a good point, Tamari, and I think that Allie has grown up a lot since we've started watching this show, and I think, I mean, honestly, what else was she going to do, though? I think he knew that she stole his card, but at least she owned up to it, and she didn't, like, make some crazy excuse, and she was honest, and she told him she's trying to find out stuff about her brother and stuff, so I do think that's good. Zoe's asking why Charles had Allison's baby rattle. Yes, we did talk about it, and I'm not really sure. Some people think that perhaps it was her baby rattle and then it was given to him, but he's older than her, so I don't know. Oh, no, that it was his baby rattle given to her. There we go, that makes sense. Maybe it was his baby rattle, it was passed down to her. Honestly, guys, who has like a sterling silver heavy baby rattle anymore? That's weird. Are we back in like the 1920s? I mean, when were these people born? That's weird. Is that a clue? I mean, I don't understand that. You know how much Charles loves like old stuff. I think that's connected. I don't know. I just thought of that, but that doesn't make sense. Thomas from Belgium. Hey, we only have like 3 more minutes, so I'm trying to hurry. The promo for next episode, making him realize that we are actually going to find out who A is. I so hope. Yeah, but it is crazy, definitely. Is it true that Arya always wears clothes with red and black stripes for a reason? Jewel, I think. I don't know. I'm just really hoping that she is connected. So we are almost out of time. We have a little bit of time, but I'm going to use this time to tell you that I'm going to have a show tonight at 6. If you want to come back, that would be so awesome. So many of you showed up for this show. I thought maybe 3 people would be here, and there have been tons of you, and I love it, and I love you for it because it's so much more fun instead of me just sitting here the whole time talking and none of you being here. So thank you. But come back at 6 if you can, because that would be awesome because it's going to be different stuff and different people. So that would be cool. But I will have my recap video up tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. My social media links are all down below, so please follow me there, especially Twitter, because then you're going to know when the shows are coming up, when Periscope is coming up, when I start doing Scream Queens. Hello. So please do that. So Emma says Holbrook didn't know anything about Ezra in the season 4 finale, so I don't think he is Charles. Angela hopes that Maya is not alive. I kind of hope she is alive. I don't know. Maddie would love to see Maya be in Redcoat. Maybe she found out about Charles while in Allison's house and teamed up with him to bring them down. The girls didn't always welcome her with open arms. Yeah, they didn't really like her that much. Yeah, you're completely right. Janae's asking, what if Garrett is A? When Charles stood out from the mannequins in 525, it was a parallel in season 1. Garrett was hiding behind the mannequins and stood out from them as well. That would be interesting. That's what I'm saying. This show is just so crazy because there's so many options about who could be A. And I like all of you who can quote specific things happening in specific episodes. That's props to you, because I feel like that's amazing, because I can't do that, and you know how much I love the show, but I can tell you when things happen, or like kind of an idea, but I can't tell you like season 5, episode 25. You guys rock. I could be like, it was the finale of one of these seasons, but that is so awesome. Andre says, if Maya is Redcoat, it would make so much sense because she died when Redcoat first appeared. Ooh, I like that. Okay, guys, so sadly, it's time to go. I'm going to take a little bit of a break because I'll be right back in about an hour for the next show. Again, please come back if you want, if you have some free time. If this was your first show, though, I just really am so glad that you got to be at one of these shows. I love you guys. This video will be up soon on my channel, so if you came in late, you can go back and watch it. You can make comments. If I didn't get to answer them, I will go back and answer all of them, so please do that. I don't want to forget any of you. Love you guys. We only have 2 weeks till we find out who A is, so I'm freaking out. So I'll tell you bye. Hope to see you back at 6. Bye, guys.